Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for SUI price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. MEXC is turning 7 and we are excited to celebrate with our special partnership. You can enjoy this event with exclusive rewards only with the referral link below. Starting on the daily for the overview bullish and bearish scenario, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave A or a wave 1, finished ABC for a wave 2 and a wave B, and of course followed by an impulse for a wave C. And in this case scenario, you have finished, of course, a zigzag 3 waves toward the upside. You're looking for 3 waves down, and then continuation for a wave C, of course, for higher prices. After this scenario, we have another scenario that might be unfolding as a 1, 2, and another 1, 2 here, and you're looking for 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. In this case scenario, of course, we are looking for a wave 3 unfolding after a very complex structure that it might have finished here or not yet. It can still have, of course, one more low as an A, B, and a C potentially, or simply, of course, as A, B, and a C as an ending diagonal. This is what I want to mention. Ending diagonal for a wave C, of course, after an A, B, and a C, and then hitting the blue box and then moving toward the upside. Another scenario is a finished W, X, and a Y. Can be as well, of course, in double zigzag, and then, of course, an X as a bridge and moving simply for a higher, of course, in a wave 3. Your bearish scenario, currently you are in a bearish scenario which you have potentially finished it or still having one more low. This is a short-term bearish scenario. And of course, if you are moving in a longer-term bearish scenario, you would like to see anyway 3 moves to the upside and then continuation for a wave C, of course, for lower, and meaning shifting this wave B to this area, shifting the wave C even to later on to be unfolding, of course, after 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Let's move inside as this structure to see, of course, what is going on here. So inside this structure, as we said, of course, we have 2 possibilities where you might have finished a W, X, Y, or A, B, C here for a wave A or a W. You have a triangle A, B, C, D, E, and another structure finished here with a low as a double zigzag, of course, with an X as a bridge in between to form, of course, a perfect W, X, and a Y, matching each other, of course, as a W and a Y. So basically, after having this low here, you might, of course, start to seek for higher prices. This is exactly what we got. We're gonna move, of course, in the micros to see if we are continuing toward the upside. But let me finish, of course, the last possible scenario where you have a wave A here for the bearish and you have a wave B. You are looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 ending diagonal. So we have to be careful, of course, because we saw anyway the move toward the downside before any kind of invalidation for a wave 3 here. And you moved impulsive, so you have to be careful. A, B, and a C can unfold, of course, a final wave, a 5 after 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And of course, let's move and dive inside it, of course, to see what are the potential right now for this scenario. As you can see, the fib levels are perfectly reached for a diagonal here. And potentially, if we are, of course, in an impulse here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, potentially it can be, of course, a leading diagonal, A, B, and a C, knowing that the wave 5 looking very long, unless, of course, it has finished like this here. Yeah, and you have an A, B, and a C, and you finish a wave 5 over there, meaning, of course, still can be a leading diagonal in a wave A, and then, of course, after a correction, A, B, and a C expanding flat, and you're looking toward the downside, of course, for a wave 5 to finish this, of course, ending diagonal. And with this ending diagonal, you will finally finish the last scenario possible for bearish. And that means, of course, this wave 5, this wave Y, or a wave C. Yep, this was for the bearish scenario. Now for the bullish scenario, where you have finished your wave Y or your wave C here exactly, and you are looking, of course, here for something bullish. And that means, of course, a leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 can be very possible. Of course, for a wave 1, you finished a wave 2 and ABC here. and then you're looking for higher and higher. You would like to see, of course, a clear impulse. Now you got a 1-2, another potential 1-2, because of course if we dive deeper here, we see 1 2 3 4 and a 5. I don't see a finished impulse here. If you take you have of course potentially 1 2 1 2 here, and you have a 1 2 3 4 5 for your wave 3, and of course you have another 1 2 here, so potentially 4 and a 5, very deep wave 4 by the way. And then wave 5 already unfolded and potentially very close to be done and finished. Here we go. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Yeah, one more leg and to be done, of course, with this move. And that means, of course, in a bigger view, again, of course, a little bit in the micros here, you are looking for a 1 2 and potentially 1 2 again. However, this wave 1 is not really nice. It looks like a bigger, or it can be a wave 3. And that means, of course, if you take the fib levels, let's recheck the fib levels, by the way, it gives us a better answer. Here we go. All right. If this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2. Okay. You are very close to hit the 1.618, meaning this one more leg which is missing, right? We still need to see one more leg toward the upside, so we can call this, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or it can be an ABC. So be careful again. It can be, of course, after a leading diagonal. It can be an A, B, and a C here. Let's label this first. So potentially 1, 2, and you're looking for 3, 4, and a 5. We're gonna see, of course, how this is gonna unfold step by step. Higher potential scenario here, well, it's a little bit hard for SUI to say which one is higher. I see both still very equal, knowing that, okay, you have a potential of finished bottom here, you have a potential of wave 1 2 finished, and yeah, as you know me, to give a confirmation for a bullish, I would like to see this high taken. I would like to see, of course, the top of this wave 1 taken. If we don't take it at a 2.4 almost, yeah, I cannot really give confirmation, or higher possibility for bullish. Okay, but we're not yet 100%. So be careful. It might still unfold something from there. Once you finish this one more leg, it might unfold your wave 5. So be careful. And of course, taking this low, this one has transferred right now. Of course, meaning if you take this one, and this is higher potential for bearish, right? And that means you're gonna take the low, and even you're gonna move for lower. You're gonna move for wave 5. If you take this low, you pass this area, meaning you are in a 1 2 or an A, B, and a C. You would like to take this low simply. It's very hard because, of course, you still have two direction. Both the direction toward the downside is very, very likely as well. And also you are in a potential bottom and you have a direction toward the upside. But yeah, you are exactly in the middle right now. As you can see, the price is exactly in the middle, and the price decision will be made by those two areas. Bullish or bearish. However, if you are bearish, don't forget it is only simple one more leg and you're looking for higher. Yep, so basically this is how I read SUI right now. If we take a look as well at KGT on the 3-minute chart shows, of course, invalidation of the bearish scenarios here. You see a very strong divergence moving toward the upside. We got our move perfectly. And also again here potentially you see, of course, the move toward the upside, the sideways line here opening the divergence for this scenario. And of course having some signals for the bearish, but of course it is a very, very invalidated, and that of course due to the very strong divergence here for SUI. Let me go back to the bigger view. Of course, as you can see, here we go, a very strong divergence for the bearish here. for SUI, and be careful, of course you still have something much bigger. So this is a scenario on the 15-minute chart in overview. Now if you take a look on the 15-minute time frame, it means in a bigger view you still can be, of course, moving towards the downside due to the pressure from this high and convergence, of course, with this price action. Yeah, knowing that also we are in bullish divergence, and this also reflects exactly the same analysis that we saw. We are in both scenarios. We are in bullish and we are in bearish, so we need a price decision. However, again, from here, even if you take the low, you're still very high potential or very likely to look for higher again, at least in a rebound in three-wave corrective, like bigger three-wave corrective, and then continue towards the downside in case you are more bearish. Yep, so that was it for SUI. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.